When you are. Oh, good morning. Hello there. Welcome to day 3 of Ministravaganza. Do you like that? That was like one of those oh, hello. I see you've joined us. Oh man, that's twice. Unprofessional. Unprofessional. This morning, we're going to be working on Arnhem Zola, a very cool and interesting miniature that we have here for Marvel Crisis Protocol. I have a few of his parts, and he has these beautiful clear bits. So we're going to be working with this, and I'm going to show you some tips, tricks, and techniques to get our Arnhem Zola to this stage. So let's kick it. Oh, Kevin's already got to the minicam. We're going to talk about some of his parts and how they work. I'm still talking to the camera. So we have a front and a back to a torso here. And we have a little face. Very, very cool. So the very first thing you want to do when you're building your Arnhem Zola is actually paint the face. I went ahead and primed this, painted it up, used some red and oranges and yellows and stuff. And then what I did is I masked off the inside faceplate. This whole torso is clear. This was the reason for this is we thought about doing this entire front plate as a clear bit, but it was actually trickier to build the kit if just that front plate was clear. So we did the whole torso, and I have liquid mask. Liquid mask is a like liquid latex material. You can get it at a hobby store. And I put it in here on this, and then I painted it. The reason being, you have those walls, those will show up. So after you paint that, you can take a little Q-tip here, or toothpick, and just get a hold of that. Peel that away. The mask is removed. Pop the face in there. And then you go ahead and you assemble the entire miniature just like normal. Just the normal way you would assemble a miniature. So glue the parts together, gap fill, put the head on, and all that kind of stuff. Anything interesting in chat? Spider foe reveals. There's plenty of spider foes on their way. So now after you prep all this and get it all assembled and cleaned up, I'm going to use some of this liquid mask, and I'm going to use an old paintbrush, not a new paintbrush. Contrary to belief, I'm not that much of a monster when it comes to brush care. We're just going to paint this on right up to the edge of the little monitor frame. Spin that around. It's very, very liquidy, so it will move. And just make sure you have a nice, even coat. And you're just going to let this dry. I always say everything should dry for a day because I'm a better safe than sorry. But this stuff usually dries in about an hour or so. And you can mask off any other part you want. Like maybe you want some weird, like this little bit. Who knows? It's up to you. It's a great little tool. You let this dry, and then you prime it up. And then you're ready to paint. Accidentally paint over the clear bit with your skills. What? You are going to paint over this clear bit. That's why we have the liquid mask. You mask off anything that you want to leave clear. So then, once you get it all primed, you're ready to paint. So let's paint one Arnhem Zola. Do you have any interesting questions? 100% done with painting. Yeah. I mean, I could take the mask off now, but I prefer to do it after I'm done painting. That way I can do any sort of sloppy painting or dry brushing that I feel, compelled to do. But we're going to try to knock this feller out as much as we can. Josh is coming in later for a game, and he needs to play Arnim Zola, so we need a painted one. Gotta get one knocked out. Plus, if I revealed it now, that's not the fun of it. The fun of stream is that moment at the end where we peel it away and have the big reveal. It's like pulling the cake out of the oven. I'm just using any gold here. Whatever high gold you want. I didn't even look at the bottle. I just grabbed a cool looking gold. How was the cutting of the clear plastic compared to... they're the exact same. Honestly, there's no real difference. There's not really a difference for manufacturing the clear plastic compared to the not clear plastic. Is that a connection port in the front of his skirt? No. A little yellow. We're going to make this a little sketchy. Doesn't need to be perfect. Very thin yellow paint, just whatever appropriate yellow. How do you manage to avoid streaks with metallic paint? Even with watering it down, never seems to work for me. I think it just depends on your brand you're using. Different brands have different properties. Scale 75 is pretty smooth. If you go to like a model shop, you can get alcohol-based metals if you're struggling with metals. Those are really good and very, very smooth, but they are alcohol-based, so be sure to follow the warnings laid forth upon those labels. Yeah, you gotta use a medium. Any plans that have different base styles? Not at this time. We did a whole series last year at Ministravaganza about how to base your miniatures the way you want. So if you're interested in different base styles, you should definitely check that out. It doesn't take much to spend a little time hobbying. This is a hobby miniatures game. It's in the title. Hobbying up your own bases if you want something different. Like the sculpted bases are sort of a shortcut, but not an end. They provide a nice narrative standpoint for the base Marvel Crisis Protocol experience, but that experience doesn't have to be the end. It's if you want to change the experience, you should. This guy's just wearing all yellow today. just get a little yellow in those. If I get a little on the straps, it's fine. I'm going to cover that over anyways. How well would a tester's oil-based miniature paint work on prime miniature? Oil-based paints are fun. They're unique. I like oil-based paints. They're a nice tool. What gold is on the legs? I really wish I could tell you. It's a scale color, and I put it on my palette, and everything's over on the desk. And then this is a bronze. I'm going to stretch out and shade with. Because I want his legs to be kind of bronzy. Like a bronze computer god. And I want to remove it from the top, make sure it's not on the top surfaces. Concentrate in the shadows. Do you think it'll start expanding technical windows on miniatures as they're really good, but do raise the technical? I think when it's appropriate, it's something we want to do. There is some added considerations that we have to take into on our side, like cost and time to develop and create those additional engineering, because like engineering that changes, or adding clear does change some of the engineering. If it wasn't for this clear window, we probably wouldn't have cut it the way we did. I can't say that with a 100% certainty. I'm not an engineer, but just based off my peripheral knowledge, we probably could have, we would have just done the whole front torso. Just the key would have definitely been different. So I guess it wouldn't have been that different. Thinking about it now. But there are added complexities and considerations that we have to take into when adding a clear part. But I think when it's appropriate, you'll see it. Arnim Zola was definitely one, like we kind of automatically knew as soon as we started developing him and working on him, we knew we wanted that clear window very quickly, right? It was like that, or we make everybody freehand to face on, or, you know, some other option. So the clear window was the obvious way to do it. Did I miss something about the clear plastic part? Is that large portion of the miniature liquid mask required? Yeah. At the very beginning, we talked about, this is why all of our videos are separate. You can go back and watch these at your leisure. The front and back of the torso is separate parts. The face is a separate part. You paint the face, you glue it in, and then liquid mask, or you put it together, finish off the whole miniature, and then liquid mask it before priming it. And then I'll show you what it looks like at the very, very end. Quinn, you glue it in there. I just set it in there. We're not doing it step by step. There's time considerations to take into consideration for streams. So I did not glue it in. I apologize. I just flopped it in. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to do brown first. I'll do a little brown shading. No, there's liquid mask masking the face right now. We did liquid mask to hide the face. Liquid mask is a wonderful latex-based material you can get at model shops. So where you would buy, you know, model kits. You can pick up some liquid mask. It's really good stuff for different hobby techniques and applications. And if enough people missed it, let me know, and we'll go over the steps again. Let me know. Chat, did too many people miss that first part? Or do you just want a refresher? Do you just want to see Arnim Zola's beautiful mug again? Using a warm brown to shade my yellows here. Sort of a preliminary shade. Different from a pulmonary shade. Funky angle blend. What's the chat saying, Kevin? Are they wanting another show of the face?
No, there's a question about fogging on clear plastic.
Fogging on clear plastic. So you shouldn't get too much fogging. Fogging comes from super glue being unable to escape the area that it's drying in. So a lot of time fogging on clear plastic is just because super glue is not given an appropriate place to escape. So if you are doing clear plastic and super glue, you need a little fan to blow it off there, right? Woo! Got allergies this morning, kids. Send me to the doctor. I use plastic glue. Plastic glue does not fog. This is a hard plastic miniature, therefore it doesn't need super glue. So no worries about fogging on that. And also, if you're just gluing the torso together, it's over in the sides. You shouldn't have any fogging anyways around the face. I put some paint in there, so that should deal with any fogging you had. Time for purples. Mixing the blues and the reds to make the purples. What else we got? Are you using two brush blending method on those metallics? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Thanks for noticing. That is not purple enough. That's right, we're going to treat that side like a shade. We're going to bring this down to the cloth. I like this sanguine color here on the cloth more. Which is also a really good color to put into the shade metallic golds. Just that little bit. Once again, like last year, we did a video about true metallic metals, covering what I like to call metallosity, where we talk about the sort of properties and philosophies of painting true metallic metals on your miniatures. When metal goes to shadow, it loses its luster. It loses its metallosity. So by doing opaque paints down in the shadows and blotting out some of that shine, you actually up the metallosity of the entire surface because you're creating that light to dark contrast, reinforcing it. Now I'm getting all quick and dirty on this guy. I'm worried about not finishing it. I have to finish for Josh. Look at those legs. Oh. That's actually what we're doing. As soon as we're not as soon as we're done, but the goal of this miniature is he's going into the game stream this afternoon. So that's cool. Let's make a purple. We're just making a purple up here. Blue, red, off-white. Make a desaturated plum color. Clear plastic counted. What do you mean counted for plastic glue? So, like, I'm sorry, I don't understand.
I think he's saying you didn't realize it was polystyrene.
Oh, I didn't realize it was polystyrene. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's still polystyrene. Fun fact, all resins are clear. Not all resins, but most resins are clear. And you add like a resin miniature, usually those are all clear. And you add dye to them to make them gray. And polystyrene can be dyed any color as well. So you can do red polystyrene, it's the same material. Or blue. Changed my mind, I want to put metallic in that. Time for heavy metal. Was there a reason you put the mask on the inside of the torso before you put the mask on the inside of the torso before you put the face on? So this has to be glued together, and then so you have two torsos, you have a clear front, whoops, and a face on the ground, and I don't know where it went. There it is. You have a clear front and a not clear back. So you need to paint the face and then glue it in like that. Then we painted the inside of the torso because there's these little walls there that you can kind of see. And then we glued that together. Then you build the rest of the miniature. Right? Then we used a stuff called liquid mask. It's a latex-based material. And you can see that purple sheen over the clear. That's the liquid mask working. So anywhere that liquid mask is will be protected. Then we prime the miniature. So this has been primed, but that liquid mask is underneath there. So that's going to protect that face mask. So when we go to, after we're done painting it, we'll be able to see Arnim Zola's beautiful mug. So I added a little metallic. I want this to be more metallic. So I used some scale 75 heavy metal and mixed it into my purples to start building out metallic. Do his fingers. So it's a really cool little product. You can pick it up at any like hobby shop. Places that, you know, specialize in, you know, maybe your local game store carries it. I know one of mine did. Or like somewhere where you can pick up like model cars and trains and stuff like that. You can go online. It's just called Liquid Mask. Lots of companies make it. You just goop it on with an old paintbrush, and whatever is under there will be protected. It's a latex-based material. So I know some people have latex allergies. Be mindful of that. Will we ever see different street bases? Probably not different street bases with character effects. There's no plans for different bases. It's always it's always a question, and there's a lot more to it than you think. And you know, I thought about like, you know, what if we did like Asgardian bases? But then I realized everybody painted their Asgardians like 2 years ago. So it'd be a little weird to be like, now your Asgardians need to be rebased. And also, I'm a firm believer in hobby. All these bases to me are blank. They're just starting points. They have a little shortcut on them, but you can cover any of that with any hobby material. We've done videos on it. You should go check those out. You can find them on our Twitch and YouTube about how to take the Marvel Crisis Protocols bases and change them up. Schick's done a video on it. I've done a couple. With a little hobby, all things are possible. And if you don't believe in yourself, that's fine. Just believe in the me that believes in you. All this delicious purple metallic. It's going to get a sweet wash in a little bit once it dries. What are we talking about? My rattle can lid? You can probably leave the masking on while yeah, you can leave the masking on while you spray varnish. You pull the mask off at the very end. Kind of like this stream. We're gonna wait till the very end to reveal his face. What's the thing he's holding? Oh, this? Are you talking about this? What's that? Confirm that that's what we're talking about. Or the thing I'm holding. There's a difference. Oh, maybe that is his gimbal. Maybe he is holding his hobby gimbal. Armzilla is just looking for somebody to hobby with. Strucker keeps canceling the hobby hang. He's like, it's every Thursday night. Come on, Strucker. Strucker's like, I'm busy. But we've got miniatures to paint. Yeah, it's just a funky science device. Right, we kind of just gave him the science MacGuffin. I'm a firm believer in not everything needs to be explained. Just let it be cool for coolness sake. Just like, what is it? It's a science MacGuffin. Adding some dark blue to our sanguine. Painting into the deepest, darkest shadows of those metallic legs. Too much, push it back. Go really fast here. Pow, 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 pow. Those are legs. Kevin, can you mute me for a second? I'm back, right? Thanks. I forgot to do his back of his loincloth. Oh, we should do his belt same color too. Lay a layer of this sanguine plum purple. And his boots, yeah? And his boots. It's a shake weight. I love science MacGuffins. Oh, I got it. I missed it. I misread. Like, I love a good MacGuffin. Like, you go back and read, like, a bunch of those, like, old, Jack Kirby era comics, and There's just stuff that just exists and it's like not even explained. It's just like, what is that? Who cares? It's just drawn cool and looks neat. So that's just Zola's Science MacGuffin. We showed the art to one of Zola's tactic cards, and I love that art. Scientific Breakthrough. This is Zola joyously triumphant in some, you know, technological breakthrough, obviously. But he's got like some crazy machine behind him that's powering up and going off, and he just looks so darn pleased with himself. It's the remote to his chess screen. Beep, beep. We're gonna make that camera lens glow. I think this is a brown, yeah, brown wash. For the yellows. I think this was actually labeled as a flush wash, and I was just like, looks like a good brown wash for yellows if you do it nice and thin. Just because it says flush wash doesn't mean you gotta use it on flesh. This is where my unruly youth comes into play. Like, I do what I want. And paints is just paints. And nah, I don't spoil cards. We're here to talk hobby, learn hobby. Hobby miniature games. You spend so much time getting ready for the game, you know? It's such a vital and like big part of a lifestyle hobby game. Like, we gotta celebrate that. Saturday, where's your miniature? Why are you not painting with me? Right now, you could be doing some of the same gold techniques. You don't need the same color gold. Recipes don't matter. Recipes are nonsense. You could be using some of the same techniques. It's all about how to paint, not what to paint. As we spend this Saturday morning on Ministravaganza, day 3. Just getting our hobby on. Because look at those legs. Kevin. My gosh. Let's take Hold Your Blue, put it in this palette. Drop of water. No, there's too blue. I don't know, I kind of do like that actually. kind of do actually like that. Let me think about this for a moment. Compel Bast, I'm cooking dinner. Somebody's a third shifter. This guy look good with a cowboy hat. The legs look very Colossus-y. Yeah? Oh man, gold Colossus. Be kind of cool. I do actually want to try. I've been thinking about trying to sculpt a Juggernaut style helmet on the Colossus miniature and have him lifting like a chunk of concrete for ultimate the ultimate encounter. Touch of magenta. Touch of Magenta, that's the name of my adult contemporary band. We're just going to use this to start washing that purple golds, or purple metals, not purple golds. Do you have some good advice for getting better at two-brush blending? Ninja, are you ready for my best advice I can give you for getting better at anything, including two-brush blending and painting? The number one advice, this is the secret trick that professionals do not want you to know. Ninja, tell me when you're ready, because I want to make sure you're ready. Is everybody else ready? I think everybody else is ready. Kevin's ready. He's giving me the face. How does face work? I will show you, Matthew, in just a moment. Digital Zola face, I love it. Ninjar has not responded to me. Go for it, Lowell. Practice. I know. It's literally one thing you did not want to hear, probably. Practice. 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 I spent a lot of years as a freelancer, and every night before I went to bed, I'd ask myself, what do I do today to make myself better? Or improve myself, or get, to get closer to my dreams. And if the answer was nothing, then I wasn't allowed to go to bed. I didn't deserve it. I had to get up and go. I had to do. Practice. Put in the time. Make mistakes. Learn to love to fail. Failing is not a failure. Not learning from the failure, that's the failure. Ask questions, get feedback. Those are all ways to get better, and those are the only ways to get better. It's the only thing that's going to improve you and help you achieve your goals. And that's another thing, set goals. Establish why you want to be better at, say, two-brush blending, which I think is an amazing technique and has made me the fast painter I am. Why do you want to be better at, wet blending? What is my end goal here? Define that and then set forth a process to get that. Don't compare yourself to others, only compare yourself to the last thing you worked on. So you could look at somebody like, Banshee or Roman Lapat and be like, oh, they're so good. It's like, well, yeah, those guys will tell you the exact same thing I just told you, practice. They will literally say the exact same words. You got to do the reps. you gotta take your mind and your body, and you gotta do the time. There's no magic bullet. If there was, I would have taken it. But I never compare myself to painters better than me. I look at painters better than me, and I go, "Whoa, that's awesome! Like, holy cow! Like, man, how'd they do that?" And I ask questions, and I try to figure out. And then when I paint something, I only compare it to the last thing I painted. So, like, say this Arnim Zola, you know, if I'm on my path of my, you know, my anime antagonist path, I don't look at the protagonist, what he did. I look at the last thing I did. I go, oh, okay, so I see on that last miniature, as I push my glasses up, I see on that last miniature, my technique was flawed. And so I analyze it and I ask serious questions about it. Find people you trust to give good feedback and ask good feedback. If the only feedback you're getting is, it's so good, you're never going to get better. My mentor was a very harsh mentor. And it took years to get praise. I'm being truthful. Look, they come here for the truth, Kevin. It took years to get praise. But I'm a person I'm not motivated by praise. That is not my motivation. I'm motivated by challenge. Motivation. Man, I had an epiphany about motivation. Motivation is not something at the beginning of a process. You can't stand around waiting for. Now I'm pontificating, and I've stopped painting because this is new to me. I've really come around to this philosophy. Motivation is not at the beginning of the process, right? You can't look at a blank canvas and be like, "Where's my motivation? Where's my muse, my guide? Please bestow this upon me, my shadow, and rest upon my shoulder, and guide my hand to the greatness in which I know I can become." Motivation is found in the process, by doing, by getting in there and getting stuck in a little bit. Your motivation, because you're going to see results, the ideas will start to formulate and form and coalesce before your eyes and your mind, and that is where motivation comes, is seeing the process unfold before you and lay open its secrets. Therein lies motivation, true motivation. You got to get stuck in, basically what I'm saying. That's 87. I hate painting. I've been in the hobby 20 years and never enjoyed it, but teach your own, I guess. That's an interesting choice of hobby. I respect you, because one thing I like is tenacity. I do like a tenacious person. Painting miniatures, like, as a hobby, like, this has been, like, literally my whole life. Like, this has been the thing that drives and guides and brings me joy. And thank you. And 10? Okay. And I got lucky and got a chance to, like, turn it to my career. Which is funny because now painting miniatures is actually not my career, like, at all. But I've literally built my entire house around the idea of having a studio to paint miniatures in. I now have Thursday nights now. terrain at my house where my partner and I are now painting all of our terrain on Thursday nights. Like, so to be doing a hobby for 20 years and self-proclaim not enjoy it is sort of impressive. Wildstar, you know me. You could have called all my paint streams life lessons with Dallas because I think kind of like the greatest film in human history, Conan the Barbarian, which is filled with all the best life lessons. Painting miniatures holds the secrets to many of those life lessons as well. Like, the riddle of the brush, the riddle of the wash. Which one is it? I don't know. Two out of three ain't bad. Hey, there was a song about that. Yeah, I mean, hobby games are, if you're not enjoying painting miniatures, I think that now is a perfect time. Weirdly, a lot of companies are coming out with some product that speeds up that process, which is interesting. Here at Atomic Mass Games, our paint streams that we do 2 times a week, many times focus on how to paint quick and effectively and not top level. I think a lot of people who don't enjoy painting, in my experience, this is purely anecdotal, and anecdotal evidence is not evidence in my eyes. So don't ever try to push that off on me. I'll call you out on it. But anecdotally, as I present, I was waiting for Kevin to say something or give me that look like you saucy boy. Like I'm gonna try to make the same argument, not anecdotally. So my question would be, I like how you turn around for this one. How are you gonna get yourself out of this, Dallas? There's one thing I'm good at is getting myself out of sticky situations. So my question would be, do you tend to do the comparison of your work to others and find that is a roadblock to your joy? And I like how I'm waiting for an answer and I know it's like a 45-second delay or something. I'm like, oh, I'll ponder this for a moment. Like, because definitely identifying the where the joy fails you, where the process falls apart for you. My joy is there's different points in the process that I find enjoyable for different reasons. Like I enjoy the process of watching the little Arnim Zola here come to life before my eyes. But I also love, getting to the game table or going to coming to work and being like, Kevin, look at this Arnim Zola I painted. And Kevin's like, oh, dude, that's so cool. Look at him. Can't believe you did the legs gold like that. It's totally different than Brendan's. Kevin would never give me that kind of praise. But then Kevin goes away and he paints something, brings it in. He's like, look at this. I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. And like, I like that sharing, that back and forth of knowledge and information and kind of driving in a friendly, I don't want to use the word competitive, but that's to use the parlance of our time, that friendly competitive nature of it to drive each other forward, to achieve more and to push each other's limits. But then also just showing up at the table and having that moment where I put a bunch of beautiful painted terrain. Terrain is just as important as characters because it tells the story. without backgrounds, comic books like are bland. You know, you gotta have the background. Comparison is the thief of joy, 100%. And then, but like getting that miniature on the table and like seeing that story unfold. All right, I got 5 minutes. Should we peel the face away? We didn't get him totally painted, but I'm really, really close. I think another shadow and a highlight on the purples and a highlight on the cloth, and then the yellow on the boots need to be finished up, and then the glow on his eye, and then the remote control. I think I'm gonna do like black metal remote control. I think a nice contrast with like a red glowy like button. He's got like a little couple of things that could be buttons. I know people will always be better than me. It's the tedium of actually painting the miniature. Learn to paint fast. Learn to paint fast. Put on a dope song. Pick an album. I like albums. Maybe start a paint jam. Paint jams help me sometimes. Then it's not tedious. You're just hanging out. And you can learn to paint a miniature in an hour. Look what I did in an hour. You can learn to do this. So I'm just going to use a toothpick. Oh, I promised to go back over this one more time. Okay. Do we have time, right? It's early morning on a Saturday. I feel a little scattery. Am I doing all right? 2 pieces of plastic. One back, one front. Front is clear. I put a little liquid mask. Liquid mask is a wonderful product. It's just a liquid latex material. Applied it with a paintbrush on the inside. And then I blasted some airbrush in there because these walls, you want color on. Those walls. Then I peeled the liquid mask off that. Paint the face. Face goes into the back of the torso. Tack it in there with a little. I'm not going to glue this. And I lost it again. By God. By God. Well, this is the best part. Where'd it go? You're just going to have to trust me on this one, stream. He went under my desk. I can't believe he's gone. He's bright orange.
I bet if you reveal the face on the other one,
They'll get the idea. So you glue the face in there. You put the front on, glue that on. Build the rest of the miniature. You know, gap fill, nonsense. Then liquid mask the front screen. Prime it all up. Paint it all up. And then, man, I've been doing this for 35 years, 34 years. I have dropped so many miniatures. I have lost so many pieces. Whoa, rude.
I know. I need my thing. You have it in your box, sir.
no sanctity in this room.
None.
It smells so Old Spicy in here, too. Like, what are you guys doing? Just spritzing each other with cologne?
I think we're both wearing Old Spice deodorant. And then you just peel away the liquid mask. Oh, I love a good satisfying peel. Yes, look at him. This one was painted blue. You just use that toothpick to peel. 1 minute. I got 1 minute. Ask your questions. You better be quick. I got 1 minute before we go to the next stream. What's the next stream?
I believe that is Program for Destruction,
Painting battle droids. And you just peel that away. Clean it up. And you got yourself an Arnim Zola. That's what it's about, that moment. There's no tedium in that reveal.
Not at all. You give him a good look.
That was a
You say goodbye.
There we go. So I'm going to keep working on this because he's got to go on a game stream. Hopefully everybody enjoyed that, and you can totally go back and check out this video when you go to work on yours, so you can be reminded of how to approach the process of the clear plastic parts of Arnim Zola. Get ready for the next stream. It's painting some battle droids with one Mr. Wilshick. We'll see you later for the rest of day 3 of Ministravaganza.